Okay, hi everyone, welcome to our webinar Wednesday. Okay, now we're still waiting for more people to come in to our training today. Meanwhile, I just thought I'd like to share that today's training is on Tower View and Street View. And just do me a favor because this training involves Tower View, which is high intensity particular tool that we have. So in the event today's training, if let's say we come across a high number of people accessing the website, which might affect the situation, which might affect the speed of the website, I may request that for those of you who are logged in to be logged out. Okay, but as of now, we have increased the bandwidth to allow more people to access at the same time, so there shouldn't be any problem. But just in case, okay, we need you to log out, we'll let you know. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with our training today. Okay, so this is Tower View and Street View. Some of you would know Tower View better as our diagrammatic chart. Okay, so now first and foremost, just to let you guys know, we have a disclaimer here. So any analytics tools is as per the accuracy, as is accuracy. Just FYI lah. Okay, now most importantly, these are your account managers. Okay, we have our Powerpuff Girls here, Celeste, Zuki, and Sherry. They are in charge of different accounts, so different agencies, you have your different account managers. Okay, so just check out your agency and the account manager serving you. Okay, so they would be the best person for you to look for in any case whereby not just for signing up or renewing, but if you need any form of help for the tools, how to use which tool, or if you face any technical issues, they would be the best person to look for. Okay, alternatively, we have an office hotline on the top corner. I keep forgetting that this one I should shift my picture. Give me a minute. Okay, so the office number is actually 62328688. Okay, of course, this one would be only during office hours, which is about 9 to 5 p.m. Okay, so after that, please look for our account managers. Okay, next thing would be we have a new product which I'd like to introduce to all of you. This is very, very interesting and very exciting for us to launch this new product called EdgeProp Plus. So basically, if you can guess what is it all about, closer than you can imagine. So basically, EdgeProp Plus is our virtual tour for the new launches in the market right now. So understanding that most of you would not be able to show the show flat, okay, the show units to your clients, we launched this hoping that it can help you guys, okay, using the virtual tours in our system to show your clients how the unit looks like online. Okay, so you can check out both our QR codes below. On the left hand side would be the main link to EdgeProp Plus. We currently have more than 20 over virtual tours for new launches that you can explore. Okay, on the other hand, on the right hand side, we are actually going to have a live virtual tour coming up very soon from next Wednesday onwards. So if let's say you guys are keen to join us, we will need you to register using the QR code or link on the right hand side. This would allow you to join us for the live version. So we would have either a project IC or the developer join us, okay, and them introducing the virtual tour to us for the different projects. Okay, now next thing, just for this circuit breaker period, we actually are giving all of you a free 1 month Pro Tools access. Okay, so for those of you who are new to us or you currently have a free basic account, we will need you to opt in by this Friday. Okay, previously we actually had this terminated already, but we extended it due to the overwhelming response. So you must opt in by this Friday on the 24th of April. Just scan the QR code and fill in the form that we have for you so that we can add in the subscription so that we can give you the subscription for 1 month free Pro Tools. Now, for those of you with an existing Pro Tools subscription already, don't worry, nothing. You don't need to do anything on your end. We have already added the 1 month subscription to your account already. Okay. Now, also, just for the training attendees today, we will be having a 20% off Pro Tools and Prop Points. So anytime from now till 6 p.m. today, you will get a 20% off. So Pro Tools is basically for the access to all our analytical tools. We have the 1 year and the 2 year options. And this is applicable also for renewals, which are expiring within, where the accounts are going to expire within the next 3 months. Okay. As for Prop Points, this is really for leads generation. You can use the points for us, for your listings, whereby we'll do marketing, such as Google network, okay, Google, as well as on Facebook and all the different social medias. And you can also use Prop Points for FSBO as well as feature inquiries. So basically, these are leads from buyer, tenants, as well as your owners for FSBO. Okay, so if let's say you're interested to find out a little bit more about Prop Points or Pro Tools, you can also contact your account manager. They will be able to assist you on that. Okay. Now, so let's get started with Tower View. I have some slides over here, but for the purpose of the training, I will be using the website. Okay, so at the end of it, I'll do a summary with the slides, and we'll proceed to the Q&A as well as quiz, and before we wrap up for the day. Okay, so without further ado, let me bring you to the website. Okay, so this is our EdgeProp.sg website. Okay, for those of you logged in already, no problem. Those of you not logged in, stay not logged in. Okay, just follow me in terms of the procedure. After the training, you can do your own hands-on after that, okay? So we are on the website right now, on edgeprop.sg. So to find the tool called Tower View, all you need to do is mouse over Tools, okay, which is on the top somewhere center of the website, and look for Tower View, which is under the category of Research and Analytics Tools, okay? So Tower View is somewhere in the center under the Paid Tools section. Okay. Okay, I have, Julia, I see that you can't see the presentation slides. Can you see my screen right now with the website? So I'm actually on Tower View right now. Let us know. But I think for those of you, if let's say all of you can see my screen, let us know as well. I just want to make sure that everyone is all good, yeah? Okay, so you should be on the website. Under Tools, look for Tower View, which is under the Paid Tools section. Okay, now Tower View, if some of you might be familiar with, is basically your diagrammatic chart. So as long as the property that you are searching for has floors and stacks, that means you have your stories and your different stacks, you would be able to use Tower View. Okay, what about landed property? The answer is no. Okay, so landed property, you can't use Tower View. You will have to use Street View, which we'll touch on it later. Other kind of property types that doesn't work for Tower View would be your shop houses. Okay, so your private shop houses, you can't use Tower View because they are standalone houses on their own. And then, of course, if let's say you're talking about standalone factories, you also cannot use Tower View because Tower View, you must have story and stack. So technically, there must be a unit number to it. Okay. Now, okay, next thing, on the top here, you can see that we have different headers, different property types here: HDB, condo, commercial, and industrial. So you notice landed is gone, and even though we have commercial and industrial, these would only be for those with unit number, okay, floors and stacks. Okay, so for the purpose of today's training, I'm just going to go try a few types of property. First one, I will just do for condominium, okay? So if let's say you are following me on the hands-on right now, I need you to key in H2O residences, okay? So you notice as I type in, there would already be a drop down. So I will need you to click on H2O residences, the drop down, okay? Okay, so now once you have loaded the property correctly, you would already see that the project name is shown on your screen. Okay, so that means you have already loaded the project properly. Okay, let me just zoom in a little bit so that you all can see better. Okay, now next thing, we have a few filters here whereby you can actually only show transactions that happen during a certain time period. You can even set a custom date, okay, from and to. Okay, I'm just going to go back to all first. You can also indicate to see only units that fall under a certain unit size range. Okay, and there are some other buttons here which I will slowly touch on later. Okay, so once you have loaded H2O, immediately you would notice that there are a total of 5 towers. Tower 30, 32, 34, 36, and 38. So there's 5 blocks in H2O. Okay, next thing I want you to take note of is this blue color circle within each of all these grids. When you see this blue circle, this means that we have the floor plan for this particular unit. Okay, so do take note, we have floor plans for apartment condos only. We're looking at about 70-80% of the apartment condos in Singapore. And of course, we are also consistently adding new ones as more and more projects get included. Okay, so sometimes you can even find really old ones here. And this is really the best place for you to get the floor plans, okay? So for those of you who have attended my training on research, which is the home report, you can actually embed the floor plan into your report if you're selecting a specific unit only for apartment condo. But if you only need the floor plan, okay, don't go to research, straight away come to tower view and click on and look for that unit that you are looking for, okay? So as long as you see the blue color circle, yes, we have the floor plan. What about HDB? No, I'm sorry, we do not have HDB floor plans. We do not have landed as well, and as well as commercial industrial, okay? So only for apartment condo. Okay, the next thing I want to highlight to you guys, if you scroll to the bottom, okay, look at 1501. Okay, so if you see that the unit is highlighted in bold, that means to say this is a recently transacted unit in the last 6 months. Okay, so you can see over here, how do you read all of these little unit grids here? Is basically, for example, 1501. This unit is 1130 square feet. It was last transacted on the 7th of January. Okay, at what price? At 1044 per square foot and at a quantum of 1180 million. Okay, 1.18 million. Okay, so all of these grids here basically show the latest caveated transaction for that unit. Okay, if you click into each of all these grids, you would be able to see all the transactions that happen for that unit. So same thing, I clicked on the unit 1501, but now you will see that there are actually 2 transactions that happen for 1501. Okay, so one of it is the one that is shown in the grid here, which is on the 7th of January. And we have another transaction that happened on the 15th of 2013. Okay, 15 April 2013. And immediately you will be able to see that apparently this person made a profit of about 130,000. Okay, and below you have the floor plan. This floor plan you will be able to save it very easily. If you're on your mobile phone, you need to press and hold for iPhone, okay? If you are on the laptop or desktop, all you need to do is right click, save image as, okay? And then you'll be able to save the floor plan, unlimited floor plans on your device, okay? So we don't limit the number of times you can download the floor plans. Okay, next thing, if you want to have a PDF report with the transactions and the floor plan only, you can click on PDF report over here. It will open another window with the report. Okay, so just transactions and floor plan only. Okay, next thing I'd like to highlight for tower view is if you see grids that are empty, for example 2301, there may be a few reasons why this is the case. First and foremost, or most commonly, it would be transactions that do not take a loan and it involves full cash. Okay, so full cash transactions without a loan, these buyers actually have an option whether or not to caveat the transaction. And so if they choose not to caveat it, we will not be able to see the transaction here. Okay, so this is the very first and most common reason for grids that are empty. Okay, unique grids that are empty. The second reason that could cause the lack of transaction information is transactions that happen before 1995. Okay, this is applicable for private properties that have transactions before 95, and then after that there were no further transactions. You will also see an empty grid here, okay, because we get our transactions from URA, and URA only have transaction details from 1995 onwards for private property. Okay, what about HDB? Okay, so HDB, you would not also see transactions before 2005, okay, and also from 2010 onwards, we will then have about 70% of the unit numbers, okay, because some of you would understand that for HDB, okay, the transactions, if you were to look at the HDB website, does not come with unit number. It will tell you a floor range of maybe, okay, this transaction is for a unit that happened that is either 7th floor, 8th floor, 9th floor, 7 to 9th floor. It will not indicate the unit number. Okay, so only when we have the unit number, the transactions with unit number, then we will reflect it here on tower view. Okay, the next thing is the buttons on the top here. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce the button called Mark to Fair Value. Okay, so I'm just going to click on Mark to Fair Value, and you would see that for all the units here, you would either see a plus or minus. Okay, so in this case, there's a negative here. There's a negative 90 here. Okay, so in this case, these units either make a profit or loss if they were to sell today in today's market. Okay, so what we did here is basically based on the price they paid for example, if we're looking at 2304, this owner bought this unit at 883,680. Today, if they were to sell, okay, based on Edge Fair Value, which is EdgeProp's indicative valuation, this owner is likely to make a profit of about 146,000, okay, which also works out to be about a 16.6% earnings, okay, profits. Okay, next, let's look at another one. This is 1302, okay, I'm not going to mouse over because you can't see the negative. 1302. This unit, the owner bought it at 1.26 million, and today, if he were to sell this unit, he's likely to make a loss of 90,000, which also works out to be about 7.1% based on Edge Fair Value. Okay, so what is how do we calculate age fair value, and okay, so how does the system calculate age fair value, and how do we work it out here? Okay, so first and foremost, age fair value, if you mouse over tools, and on the left hand side, we actually have this function called age fair value, okay, where you key in the address down to the unit number, okay, and based on our algorithm, we will calculate the indicative valuation for you, okay. It is a desktop valuation of the property of that unit that you are looking at, okay. And how did we calculate this? This is based on a valuation method called direct comparison method, okay. So in order to calculate the age fair value, we must have recent transactions that happen for similar property, at least 3 of them, okay. So in the event, sometimes you will not see plus or minus for that unit because maybe there isn't a similar transaction that happened recently, okay. So in turn, we will not be able to work out the profit or loss based on age fair value for you, okay. How did we work this valuation out? It is not just a fixed formula, okay. There are various factors that affect the valuation, things like the story, the stack, facing, and all that, okay. So we work with 2 valuation companies, 3C Property Consultant and GB Global. They have 30 over years of experience doing valuation, and they are also panel valuers of HDB, okay. But that being said, do take note, this is still a desktop valuation. No one actually went down to the unit to see the condition of the unit. So of course, do take into account some plus and minus here and there, okay. Now let me just show you another function which is called mark to fair value with SSD. Do you all know what is SSD? Seller's stamp duty, okay. So we actually created this other button which incorporates seller's stamp duty, okay. So when you click on it, you would notice there is one more line that is created which indicates the seller's stamp duty, okay. So in the first row, you can see all these people are already past the seller's stamp duty period of 3 to 4 years, okay. And then if you see on story, 22nd, okay, there's one unit, 2205, that still has to pay seller's stamp duty of about 37,600 because they are still within the last 3 years, okay. So basically what we do is based on the transaction date of this particular unit, we work backwards 3 or 4 years, okay. As of now, it will be all the 3 years transaction already, okay, because all the 4 years based on the time period has already passed, okay. And so depending on how many years away, we will work out the percentage, okay. So do you all remember what is the percentage for seller's stamp duty? Okay, depending on how many years later, okay, up to 3 years. If I am not wrong, it's 12, 8, and 4, okay. And then after that, from the end of third year onwards, all these units will not need to pay any more seller's stamp duty, okay. So how do we work out the percentage? How do we work out the seller's stamp duty? In addition to the percentage that they need to pay, we also base it on the valuation of age fair valuation, okay? Because seller's stamp duty, in actual fact, you should be basing it on the selling price or the actual valuation, whichever is higher, okay? But in this case, because these units are not transacted yet, we will not be able to know whether the seller's stamp duty should be based on the price or the valuation, and also we don't have either of all these, okay. So this seller's stamp duty would be the percentage and then based on the age fair value, okay. So how do we look at how do we calculate the age fair value based on this grid over here, okay. So what you will do is to look at the price that they paid for the unit. So for instance, 2204, they paid 915,000. Okay, and after taking into account the seller's stamp duty, which is 81,600, they will still make a profit of 23,400. Okay, so in this case, to calculate the edge fair value, what you do is to take 915,000 plus the seller's stamp duty, because you're accounting for the seller's stamp duty, and then you plus the profit. Okay, so three numbers add together, that is your edge fair value. Okay, what about those that is making a loss? Okay, example 2205. What you do, same thing, take the price they paid for. So in this case, 872,000. Seller's stamp duty always plus. Okay, so plus 73,600. And then since there is a negative here, thereafter you minus 25,600. Okay, that would be your edge fair value. If you are very bad with your maths and you cannot remember what I said, don't worry. Okay, what you can do is toggle back to mark to fair value. Okay, the same unit should work out to be the same number. Okay, the edge fair value will work out to be the same. So all you need to do is just take the price they paid for, plus or minus accordingly to the grid. Okay, and you will end up with the same edge fair value amount. Okay, next thing I want to highlight is this one called mark to market. Okay, this one I didn't add it into my slides because if you ask me, I don't think it is as relevant anymore. Okay, so this is like our version 1 before we created mark to fair value and mark to fair value with SSD. Okay, so what you do here, if you want to use mark to market, maybe you say that, hey, I think your fair value too high or too low for whatever reason. So maybe you have in mind, based on your professional knowledge, maybe I think that H2O should be worth 1,500 per square foot. Okay, so it should not be based on my fair value. I'm going to use what I have in mind. So H2O 1,500. So when I click on mark to market, all the transactions now, in terms of the profit or loss they make, would be based on 1,500 per square foot. Okay, now take note, if you do use this function mark to market, very important, is it possible that the whole project is 1,500, every single floor, different size, all 1,500? No, okay, so you should have a certain floor or certain size in mind before you key in this amount here. Okay, so this, if let's say you're looking at the whole project, it will not make sense. Okay, so you should have a certain floor and a certain size in mind, and before you put in this per square foot for mark to market. Okay, now let me toggle to I have some people asking about HDB, so let me explain to you HDB. Let me just toggle to HDB now. Okay, so I'm going to show a slightly not too old, not too new HDB. Okay, this is in TOP in 2002. Okay, so this is in Sengkang area, the Sengkang West area, which is slightly newer. Okay, so over here you can see there will not be so many grids that are filled up. Okay, this is because all these units that you see with a transaction, these are the resale units for that block. Okay, so these units have resold before. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, this block was TOP in 2002. So what you can understand from this is that all these grids that are empty, these are likely your BTO units whereby the owners bought it directly from HDB and they were never transacted in the resale market. Okay, so in this case, if let's say your focus is the HDB resale HDBs in Sengkang, the units that you should likely be targeting are the ones that are empty right now. Okay, because these people are the ones that make the most money. They probably bought it at maybe 100 over 200,000, and now they can sell it for about 400,000, 500,000. Okay, so those that are in the resale market, okay, of course it depends when they bought it. Then you'll be able to see whether are they going to make a profit or loss. So same thing, you can click mark to fair value, and only those units with resale transactions you can see whether will they be making a profit or loss. Okay, so in this case you can see 1901 there isn't any similar transactions, so it's not showing up, but the rest, most of it are showing negative. Oh my god. Why is that so? Because if you look at the transactions that happen for HDB in the recent years, resale market is generally going downhill. So most of these units would likely make a loss if they had bought the unit a couple of years back. Okay. Okay, next thing, let me just quickly show you industrial. Okay, so we also have for commercial without the SSD. Okay, so repeat again, HDB, you will not have marked to fair value with SSD, because for HDB there's no SSD, there's only MOP. Okay, and there's no option for you to pay a seller stamp duties so that you can quickly offload your HDB before the 5 years MOP. Okay, so no option for SSD for HDB. Same thing, no option for commercial property as well, because commercial properties do not have seller stamp duty. Okay, and lastly, we have industrial. Okay, let me just load this again. Okay, lastly, we have industrial property. Industrial property, there is marked to fair value with SSD. So let me just put in one industrial property for you to see. Okay, so I'm using Vertex as example. Same thing. After you key in, remember to wait for the drop down. Okay, so in this case, industrial, there is a mark to fair value with SSD. Of course, take note, the time period is slightly different, the percentage is slightly different, but we have all worked it out for you as well. Okay, so this is for industrial. So you can see that there's no more floor plans here. Do you all remember why these grids are empty? Do you remember why this is in bold? Okay, hopefully you all can remember all of this. It's the same reasoning, okay? Okay, now let me see the time, 33%. Okay, so now let's go to a little bit on FAQ. Okay, let me see Priscilla's question first. Do you have a sample of calculating mark to fair value and mark to fair value with SSD? Actually, yes. Okay, let me show you my slides now. Okay, sometimes very hard to visualize, right, when I'm showing you, but you don't know how to calculate. Okay, so let me show you my slides before we proceed to the actual Q&A and then the quiz. Okay, let me shift this again. Okay, so first and foremost, we have these are the key points that you all must remember. Okay, first and foremost, I need you to see that as long as there is a blue color circle, that means we have the floor plan. Okay, next thing, if you see empty grids, it is because of full cash transactions before 95 or 2010, depending on the property type, or it could also be units. This is one thing that I forgot to mention earlier. If you see an empty grid, it could also be because this unit is not even in existence. Okay, so there could probably be a void space. It could be some facilities, because nowadays your new launches, you have a lot of Sky Garden, Sky Gym, so it could be that. Of course, in most cases whereby it is facilities, it would likely take a couple of units. So if you see the entire floor, there's a few units missing, it could likely be the facilities, okay? And then last but not least, another possibility would be if the adjacent unit, example, the unit next to the empty block is much bigger, okay? Sometimes different stacks, it may not be always the same size throughout the stack, okay? So maybe on your top floor, you have a penthouse and you have the different sizes of penthouses. So it could be that the unit right beside is very big and it eats into the space of that particular unit, okay? So in that sense, there is, in this case, if you see the screenshot I have here, maybe there's no such unit as 2301, okay, and we have a much bigger unit of 2302, example lah, okay, but of course not in this case, because you can see that 22nd and 23rd floor is the same size, okay. And then for those units that are transacted in bold, okay, those unit grids that are highlighted in bold, these are transactions in the last 6 months, okay. So if just to repeat again, if you click on the grid, you will see the transactions. Of course, if let's say they are transactions, maybe full cash transaction, there may be one transaction that went missing, okay. So you see that in my screenshot, I have 3 transactions, but it could be that there is 4, but one of them is a full cash transaction and it didn't show up, okay. So for transactions for private property, it would be from 1995 onwards. Anything before that, we do not have. So if you see an old project that is empty, maybe there were transactions before 95, which we were not able to capture, okay. And then for HDB, we will have transactions from 2005, but if you're looking at those with unit number, it would be from 2010 onwards. So for transactions that we do not have the unit number, you will not be able to see it in Tower View, but you will be able to see it under research, okay, sales transactions in research. Okay, so just now I have a question on the calculation, okay. So this is marked to fair value with SSD. So what you need to do is to take the price that was last transacted plus the SSD, and then if it says profit, you plus, if it says loss, you minus, okay. Just a gentle reminder, this is a desktop valuation, so of course there will be some plus and minus here and there lah, okay. Just use it as a guide, okay. Let's move on to the next tool, which is Street View, okay. So I'm just going to show you Street View first. You need to mouse over to Tools. Street View is right below Tower View, okay. So let me just toggle to my screen right now, okay. So I'm back to the browser, my Google Chrome browser, and I'm going to mouse over Tools and look for Street View, okay. So this is the alternative tool you can use in the case whereby the property you are searching for is not applicable for Tower View. So you remember Tower View, you must have floors and stacks. So things like your landed property, your shop houses, or maybe your standalone factories, the best one, the alternative tool that you can use is Street View, okay. So example, let's say I'm looking at Duchess Road. So I will need to key in the street name, okay, and you will see that right beside the street name, we will indicate a street here, okay. So that means to say it is a street lah, okay. So in this case, you do not put in the house number, you just key in the street name, okay. So this is an example for landed. If I'm just going to click on the drop down now, okay. So over here, you will notice for Duchess Road, okay, so now you see that I have loaded Duchess Road already. Apparently, even though I have selected landed property, there are other property types available, okay. So apartment and condos can also be found along Duchess Road, okay. So if I do not want to see the apartment and condos, I'm only looking at my landed property, what I can do is I uncheck apartment and condo, okay. So now I'm left with the detached, semi-D and terrace, okay. Now, So over here, you can see there's a left-hand side and a right-hand side. On the left-hand side, this is where you see all your odd numbers. So you can see 7, 9, 11. Okay, on the left, odd numbers. On the right, all the even numbers. So you can see 24 would be on the right-hand side. Okay, and you will notice that all the transactions for the unit would be shown up here. Okay, so very similar to Tower View, you can see that this house, 7 Duchess Road, was transacted 3 times after 1995. Okay, so if it was transacted before 95, it will not show up. Okay, or if there was any full cash transactions, it will not show up in these 3 transactions as well. Okay, next thing you can see is that this is the tenure for this particular unit. Okay, so basically we take our tenure based on the latest transaction for the unit. So only unless there was any further changes after that to the tenure, but there were no further transactions. If not, this should be quite accurate. Okay, why is the tenure important? Because sometimes along the street there would be different different tenures. Okay, sometimes you may be wondering, hey, I'm marketing this unit number 7, which is a 999 year, but maybe along the same street we have another unit which is 999, and so therefore the asking price is much lower. Okay, so you can come here to check on the tenure as well as the number of transactions that happen after 95 that are not full cash transaction. Okay, so if you look over here, we have 7, 9, 11, and you will notice that number 13, 15, and 17 has gone missing here. Why is that so? Same reason, because full cash transactions before 95. Okay, these two would be the most common reasons why it is not showing up here. Okay, so this is just street view, very, very simple. Maybe I'll show you one more. So if let's say I'm looking at shop houses, I just need to key in the street name, select the correct street. Okay, so this is shop houses along Haji Lane. Same thing, you will see that along Haji Lane we have different property types as well. So now I only want to see the shop houses, so I take away detached and semi-D and terrace, and I just look at shop houses and maybe shops. Okay, so you can see the numbers again, even on the right and odd ones on the left hand side. Okay, so just for you to take a look. Okay, so without further ado, let us proceed to Q&A. Any of you have questions for me? Okay, let me just show you the final slide, which is on Street View before we proceed. So if you have any questions for me, just put it inside the live chat. I will be answering them soon. Okay. So like I mentioned, Street View is for landed private shop houses as well as standalone factories. The reasons for missing numbers, full cash, not caveated, or transactions before 1995. Okay, so these are the 3 things you can get. You need to take note: the odd number and the even number on the left and right, and what you can see is the tenures and the transactions. Okay, so Q&A. Do we have any questions? Anyone need to make sure, or you want me to try out certain things? Okay, let me just quickly look at some of the questions. Okay, besides URA, what are your other sources? Okay, for Tower View, we only take our transactions from URA. Okay, for the mainly for apartment condo lah. For the rest, we will still cross-check the different government agencies to see whether there are other transactions that are not shown in URA. Okay, and then we have Weena. I don't think anyone answered you yet. Weena Song, are we able to know whether they are 5-room or 4-room? No, you will not be able to know in that manner, but you can set the unit size. Okay, so usually the 4 rooms are looking at about 90 plus square meter. Okay, so if you work it out, it's maybe about 900 square feet, 900 to 1,000 square feet. And the 5 rooms are usually about 100 over 100 square feet. Over 100 square meter, which is looking at about 1,002 square feet. Yeah, okay. So it's pretty standard lah. Okay, most of the sizes are there. Veronica, so they only show sales transaction, not rental. Yes, that is correct. So for Tower View, Street View, we only look at the sales transactions. If you want to get hold of the rental transactions, you can get it from research. There will be a tab called rental transactions. Okay, but they will not be planted into the different unit numbers. Okay. If there's no other questions, I will proceed to the quiz now. Okay, so what I need you guys to do, go to www.menti.com. Okay, so if you see my screen right now, I will need you to go to menti.com and key in the code 474689. Okay, without spacing. Okay. Cindy, how do you get replay of this training? The link that you have right now, the link that was given to you to access this training, you will be able to access it again with the same link, okay? Joshua, I was trying to find the transaction for a specific unit along Tanjong Katong Road, but no info showing in Street View. However, I am definitely sure there was a transaction there. Who can I bring it up to? Okay, Joshua, if you want to, we might want to double check whether this transaction, is it a full cash transaction or not? Okay, that's the first thing. If not, maybe you can reach out to any of our account managers or your assigned account manager, and we will do a check for you in the back end, okay? James, you know how to go to Street View again. Okay, let me just show you on the screen again. So all you need to do is mouse over Tools, and Street View is under Paid Tools right below Tower View. Okay, so it's a different tool that we have. Yeah, can find Tools, mouse over Tools and look for Street View under Paid Tools. Okay, then next question would be Natalie, rental, go where and check. Rental, please go to research. So go to tools again, but look for the tool called research. And then after you key in the project name, you can toggle to the rental transactions. Okay. Pearline, can I have the slides? Yes. At the end of the training, you can just get the link to the slides from your account manager. Joshua noted that it's not full cash. Let your account manager or whoever you know about it, and we will try and investigate, see if we can get any details on this or not. Okay, so all these are the different account managers. Okay, let's get started. We have about 50 person with us right now, 51. Okay, so please go to menti.com. Use the code 474689. Lily, how do you get the shop house under Street View? Okay, so you need to toggle. Let me just show you again. You need to toggle to commercial for shop houses, or if it's standalone factory, you need to toggle to industrial. Key in the street name. So example, Haji Lane. And then if you key in the street name, there should be a drop down that matches the street that you are looking for. Okay, so if there is a shop house, if there are shop houses along the street that you key in, it will show up under the results. Okay. Okay. Final call. Okay, let's get started now. We have 53 people. Let's start the quiz now. Okay. So I have 5 questions. Winners get a free gift for each question. Wow. Okay. First and foremost, can I use Tower View for all property types? So can I? I can use Tower View for all property types, true or false? Joshua, when will Street View be available on handphone? Haha, good question. Let me ask my let me ask my engineering team. Okay, as of now, we don't intend. We have not that I know of. Okay, because not that many people are using Street View. But we can always feedback to see whether we can have it inside or not. Okay, so looks like we have most people correct. The answer is false. Okay, not all property types. So landed, shophouses, standalone factory, you cannot use tower view, you must use street view. Okay, let's see who is leading right now. Okay, we have the property ninja. Wow. Okay, property ninja, who are you? We would have a gift for you. Okay, so check out the live chat. There is a gift for the winner for each of the question. Of course, one person, one only lah. So if you got all answers correct and you're the first, sorry, still one gift only. So we give everyone a chance. Okay, other than property ninja, RT also very fast. RT, were you around yesterday? I remember you. There's a RT who got the fastest as well. Okay, and then we have EB, which looks like Casper. Okay, and then we have Marie, Maddie. Okay, these are the top few people. Okay, let's move on to the second question. Agreed that is in bold indicates a recent transaction in the last 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. Can you remember how many months is it? So if the words in the particular unit grid is in bold, is it 3, 6, or 12 months? Cindy, HDB shop house, how? No, how, don't have. Okay, so we are not able to get hold of the transaction details for HDB shop houses, only private shop houses. Okay, so most of you got it correct. It is the last 6 months. Okay, so once we pass the last 6 months, it will not be highlighted in bold anymore. Okay, let's see who is leading right now. RT has gone up to the first position. Property Ninja is the second now. So we would also have a free gift for RT. Okay. So Property Ninja and RT, what is your gift today? You have won a usable cutlery set. Woohoo! So you need to give us your mailing address, okay, so that we can mail the cutlery set to you. Okay, next one. Danny and YOLO, yes, 6 months is correct, well done. Okay, now a lot of things to read. Which of the following are reasons for an empty grid? Okay, is it A, no transactions after 95, B, full cash transactions, C, no such unit, A and B, B and C, or all of the above? Wow. Dun dun, what happened? All fall into my little trick here. Okay, so I know that I mentioned a lot of times that I mentioned no transactions after 95 a lot of times. I also mentioned full cash a lot of times. No such unit, I only mentioned it, I think, about once. Okay, so technically all of you are correct. Just that whether did you get all the reasons or not. Okay, the answer is everything, A, B, and C. Okay, of course, if let's say it is if it's a landed or it is a shop house, that kind of thing, then it will not be C lah. Okay, so this one is for tower view because we're looking at the unit grid. So the answer would be A, B, and C, all of the above. Okay, so let's see who is leading now. Still RT. So no more additional cutlery set for you. We also have Property Ninja also. Oh, actually the winner now is, the fastest now is EB. So we have a third winner, EB. Okay, which looks like a ghostly Casper looking icon. Well done, EB. You also got yourself a cutlery set, free cutlery set. Remember to give us your mailing address, okay? Now, next question. seller stamp duty is calculated based on whichever higher. Is it A, B, or C? Or A, B, or both? This one a bit trick question. So if you remember what I mentioned about seller stamp duty, do you remember, is it based on price or is it based on valuation? Okay, so most people chose the both. Okay, the answer is wrong. It's not both because we are not looking at the price they paid initially. We are only looking at either the final selling price or the valuation, whichever is higher. Okay, so the answer is B. Let's see who got this right. We have EB again, followed by RT, Property Ninja. Oh, we have a new person. Okay, Harry Chong. Shall we give it to Harry Chong? Let's do it lah, huh? Okay, so Harry Chong, you're gonna get a free reusable cutlery as well. Okay, next one. I think this should be the last question, last chance for you to win. Maths question. Okay. A unit was last transacted for 800K. Seller stamp duty is 64,000. After accounting for SSD, gonna likely make a loss of 40K. What is the H fair value? Difficult, this one. Have you all done your calculation already? Wow, okay, so most people got it right, well done. So what you need to do is 800K SSD, always add it in. So it's 864, okay? And then because likely gonna make a loss, you minus 40K. So the answer is 824K. Okay, let's see who else can get my cutlery set. So most people on the top actually didn't get it right. Okay, my winner is EB, but I am also going to give one more person, which is Andrew, the final cutlery set. Okay, Andrew, you're the fastest for that last question. Okay, and then of course, overall winner, EB, well done, 3,361. So you're very accurate and you're also very fast. Okay, so well done all of you. EB, RT, Property Ninja, Andrew, and Harry Chong. Okay, all 5 of you would walk away with a reusable cutlery set worth $12.90. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end today's training. Just a quick reminder for our promo today. Okay, if let's say you guys are keen to subscribe to us or renew. Okay, let me just quickly go to the top slide again. Okay, so this is the one that if any of you would be keen to renew with us or sign up with us, there will be a 20% off. Please look for your respective account managers for the promo code. Okay, so with the promo code, you'll be able to get the 20% off. Okay, so let me just show you on the screen. So this is the promo, 20% off until 6 p.m. today. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end today's training. Is there any more questions that you might have? If not, we will end for today. Thank you everyone for joining us, and if you are free tomorrow, do join us for tomorrow's session. Same timing, different link, so you need to register for location scan and compare. Okay, so thank you everyone and goodbye.